Coming up on MHS1, we hear about some of our successful athletes and we learn about the school's organizations. And that's all coming up on MHS1.
Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, April 16th. I'm Keven Young, that was Harmon, and you're watching MHS1. Tara Bouck is a freshman that has been very successful in every sport she has played in. Harmon and Madison Metcalf tells us more about her story.
Although she is only a freshman, student athlete Tara Bouck already has a bright future ahead of her.
When I spoke to her as an 8th grader coming in, I told her that I envisioned her being our #1 runner and that she would be a varsity athlete, from day one, and she didn't do anything to disappoint. She ran 19:02 for the 5K, which is an outstanding time. Beat kids that in 5A went to state, but we're in such a tough district, in such a tough region. She like 16 seconds this year as a freshman going to state in cross country, which is phenomenal.
I enjoy distance running the most because it's something that's really challenging, and it really is a good physical activity, and it's just fun to continue to work on times and placing. In order to qualify for the regional meet at districts, you had to be in the top 10 placements of all of the people in your district, and I was in the top 10. I placed 7th, so I could go to the regional meet. I thought it was really exciting and great that as a freshman I could go to regionals. It wasn't something I was planning on doing, but it was a really cool experience.
Tara has not only pushed herself as an athlete, but pushes her teammates as well.
From my first 2 years on the team, our girls haven't been the fastest, but ever since Tara and the freshmen came on, they've changed the girls' side a lot. Tara's pushed me because she's in meets, she's placed top 5 every time, and this encourages me to go faster because I want to represent the guys' side just like she represents the girls.
My biggest motivation for running cross country and track is that I like doing good and placing, so I want to continue doing that and just having a fun time with running distance.
Tara's coachability has helped her be successful in the sport.
I think the biggest thing that I've seen in the growth of her, though, is physically everything that I've asked her to do as an athlete, everything that I threw at her, she was able to soak it up, and just training, part of it, that regimen is really, really tough for an incoming freshman doing more than she's ever done before. And she was able to soak that up and do everything we ask without hesitation and without problem. So the future for that young lady is so, so bright. So I look forward to seeing what she does in the upcoming years.
This has been Harmon and Maddie Metcalf reporting for MHS1. JROTC is an organization at this school and has just finished competing in the Lions Challenge. Charles Prindiville and Ashton Benatar bring us a story on what that is and how they did.
Early this month, our school's JROTC hosted an annual Lions Challenge event. Here are some members of JROTC and their experience in the Lions Challenge.
Lions Challenge is a competition that we created here at McKinney High. We have it every year where we invite other students from various different schools that have JROTC programs to compete in very rigorous military-like competitive events.
So the event I was in was tire flip, and it basically was just flipping a tire about 50 yards, and it's competitive, so we're just trying to do it for the best time. So I did tire flip with my sister, and we really did well with each other because we were basically in sync. So that was awesome because we had a lot of the recruiters just cheering us on at the end because we did really good.
Here we go, ready, set, go!
One of my most memorable moments in the event was just the fact that every school was cheering us on even though they didn't go to our school, and then also seeing my other fellow cadets cheering and being a part of a team.
So I was in the 1600 meter relay. So the first lap on the track, we ran with ammo cans, and then the second lap with the rucksack, it was like 40 pounds, 50 pounds, and then the third lap was like a cadet would lay down on a medical stretcher, and we would just run with them around the track. And then the fourth lap is just us running like as a team.
We did the tug of war, which is probably the hardest one. And it's basically where we have about 5 cadets on each side of the rope, and we just pull. Yeah, that really takes a lot of your strength.
Well, I'm proud of our cadets. They did really well. They fought hard. They've been preparing for this for months, and they came out and they fought well, and they came out with a second place overall. They had 6 first place wins, 1 second place, and 2 third place. So next year, those cadets have to live up to that standard as well, and hopefully they'll pull in the first place. We want to create an event that our new cadets can compete with other schools' new cadets. That way they're on the same playing field, same level.
This has been Ashton Benatar and Charles Prindiville reporting for MHS1.
One of our tennis players has been very successful this year and has had a record of wins at our school. Brylin Schrock brings us a story on who he is and what's next for him.
McKinney tennis number 1, Jordan Oberbilling, started his journey to where he is back in middle school.
I started playing tennis in 7th grade. My dad had played in college, and that kind of like inspired me to start playing a week before tryouts, and we went out and I learned the game and just made the team, and ever since then I fell in love with the sport. It was a learning curve, especially like playing a new sport. Like everything you do, it's always a learning curve at the beginning, but once you get the hang of it and just practice, tireless hours and putting in the work, it became easier and easier, and having my dad be my coach outside of school helped me progress even faster. So,
over the last 4 years, Jordan has racked up win after win in the spring season, and although the spring season just ended, his time here at McKinney High won't be forgotten for years to come.
I had that match. It was the semifinals of the first tournament this season, and going into that match, I knew I was at 49, so I knew that win would propel me to the 50, and to beat him the first set pretty badly, 6-1, and then to beat him the second set 6-2. I knew once I got that last point, I aced him on the last point, and I knew I got my 50th win. It just felt incredible to be able to break the record.
While it may be Jordan's last year here at McKinney High, he still has tennis to look forward to over the coming years.
Trying to get recruited, it's hard to, get your name out there and stuff, but just doing visits and doing college showcases like in Waco, and just showing, interest in, emailing coaches and them emailing back and showing interest, and, having over 100 colleges being interested in me. Going to East Texas Baptist University was a great feeling, and just being able to commit my junior year and have less stress coming into this year, knowing that I'm already committed and that I can just focus on senior year.
This has been Brylin Schrock reporting for MHS1.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Lions. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News and on Instagram at MHS Mainstream. And remember, if it's news
and if it's at McKinney High School, it's MHS1.